Dragon's Lair for the NES, made in 1990, is one of the most brutally difficult games I have ever had the pleasure of experiencing. And I was introduced to this game as it was a horrible piece of shit that barely deserves recognition or discussion. And the design of the game is considered to be some of the worst ever. It's gotten some of the lowest scores of any game that has been like a magazine. And it's also a port of an old arcade game, which is incredible. It's an animated adventure produced by Don Bluth, an animator for Disney, most famous for The Secret of Nim and The Black Cauldron. And those are an on-rails adventure where you can actually make decisions as things happen to you. The NES game is much, 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 much different. Most people don't even make it past this first screen. It has a ton of traps and tricks to kill new players. But the first screen actually tells you what the game is about and how to beat it. The game is designed around taking one step at a time through the dungeon and being really precise with your positioning and how, like, where you play and how you play it. If you make a wrong step, you'll usually die. And if you're impatient and you try to rush the game, you also die. Like, if you try to jump over this dragon here, and you touch the drawbridge, you're dead. But also, if you like spawn the dragon and you run away from him, and you run away. Like when you crouch, he goes down. You can't hurt him, but his fireballs they actually kill you. So you have to actually try to like outsmart the creatures of the game, however primitive they may be. And not just that, but if you jump over the dragon, it never stops firing, and I can't actually figure out a good timing to get across and not die. If you jump over the dragon, you're just dead. The whole game is set up like this, and every twist and turn of the dungeon, there's danger and surprises and traps everywhere. And if this game was named Trap House or something, Trap Castle NES, I think it would have got much better reception or something than the Dragon's Lair made by Don Bluth. And now that I've actually beaten the game, I think that I can actually talk about what I think the game is designed for. And I can also say that this is going to be one of my favorite games to torture like my friends with for probably the rest of my life. This game is absolutely hilarious, and it's disgustingly difficult. Even though there's only a few directions to press and 3 buttons. You can throw your thing, you can jump, and you can turn on a candle to find secret items inside of the castle. And the secret items there's no way to know that they're there unless you already know that they're there. Hot diggity dog. The first level of the game is an introductory walk through the dungeon, and you're encountered with snakes and bats and little guys that throw rocks through the door at you, and they kill you in one shot. You always want to pick up the axe weapon in this game. It does much more damage than the dagger, and there's a third weapon called the flame, but it fires much too slow to be actually useful in combat. I think it may be possible to kill the final boss with the flame, but I don't actually think it is possible to kill the final boss with the basic dagger starting weapon. It is only really possible and viable with the axe. But that also leads me to one of my favorite moments in any video game, and that is the final sequence of the game. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. Right before the final boss, there's a dagger powered down that if you pick up the dagger, you're fucked. Your entire playthrough is completely and utterly invalidated from that moment. You could spend 20 to 30 minutes getting to that point, and then if you pick up this dagger, you can't beat the game. And there's no axe after the checkpoint, even if you die. To re-get power, you have to just restart the entire game right before the final boss. And not just that, you can't even practice against the final boss because you don't have the axe. And in order to get the patterns down for the final boss that you want to attack him and dodge things, you must have the axe to establish the timing for those strategies to function. The game itself is designed to troll and infuriate you in a ton of ways. And it has a bunch of unique ways that it loves to mess with people, whether they be inconsistent timings on things being thrown or a wacky number of rocks before the cycle is over. The skulls on level 3 throw 6 rocks before they take a break. And I've actually never heard of a game where a random enemy throws 6 things before stopping. It's usually like 2 or 3 or something like that. Or 5. But 6 is Dragon's Lair. Each level is very difficult to get through. You have no continues at all, and 5 lives to get through the whole game. However, the whole game is only about 20 to 30 minutes long, front to back, without dying. Well, even if you use up all 5 of your lives, it can still be about 30 minutes long. However, I think that for the price of admission, which was $60 in 1990, you could probably easily get around 40 to 50 hours worth of entertainment out of this one video game. I don't really think it's necessarily worth it, especially when compared to its contemporaries, but this has now become one of my favorite games to show other people and see how they actually think about the game itself, to see if they will immediately reject the game and throw it away, or if they'll actually see what the game is and try to play it for what it is. The question Dragon's Lair poses to you, the player, is: are you willing to enter the Dragon's Lair and plunder the treasures inside on Dragon's Lair's terms, not yours? And if you are able to do that, then you may have what it takes to successfully destroy Singe the Dragon and save the Princess Daphne from his evil clutches, and for you to come out victorious as one of the only people that have ever beaten the Dragon's Lair on the NES.